Hello everyone, welcome to forceGalaxy. So today is the third day of our Salesforce admin. In the first day, we have seen about the sales process. We take a look over the structure, how these different objects will be going to help us in managing the customer relationship. Then in the second, we discuss about we started with the data model where about the objects we have discussed, the custom and the standard object, how we can create them and how they will be useful for us to store the data. Then finally, now today we're going to discuss about the fields, how fields we will going to create and how fields will be useful for us to store the data, and what different types of data types are available, what different types of values we can store related to the data. Okay, so all these things we will going to discuss in this video. So let's start with today's video.
Once your object is created, which means now table is ready, you need to add the values. Okay. Currently we are here. This table is ready. This is the object. But how I will going to store the values here? Okay, because currently only the table is there, but I need to store the values of the record. So to store the values, now comes in picture is the fields. Fields are the one which will going to help you to store the data. So we will going to divide it like this, and here 1, 2, 3, these fields will be created. This is the first record. This is then the second record, and this is then the third record. So all the columns in your table will be fields, okay? And all the rows in your table will be known as records. These are records. If we go here on the account object list view, so this is known as list view, this page. Okay, this is known as list view. So here, as you can see, these columns, this first column is there, then second column is there, third and fourth. So columns are the one which are fields storing the values in fields. So, and these rows are the one which are showing me the complete record. This is the first record. And in this first record, these are the different columns where for this field, this is the value, for this field, this is the value, for this field, this is the value. And this complete is the object or known as table in the Salesforce. Okay. If I click on this, it will going to redirect me to the record page of this record. So this is how your data is stored in the table format with values stored in the fields. Okay. Now the in Salesforce, a field is a specific piece of information or attribute that is associated with an object. They are always created inside the object only. Okay. Fields define the data that can be stored in an object and specify the type of information that can be captured. So like if their previous example, if we take project is the object. So what kind of data I will going to store here? Yes, the project name we will going to store. What is the start date of this project? Then the last date of this project. Then is this is a immediate project or can be done within a month, or what will be the timeline for this project? Okay, or this is some checkbox we can add like this is urgent or crucial, anything, any information related to object. This object will be known as the fields. In these fields now we will going to store the data. Okay, so what these fields now going to decide what kind of data we are storing in these objects. So there are again fields are there. There are the different types of field which we say the data types of fields. Okay. This is the start date. In this, I can only store the dates of the field, right? I will not going to write it in the alpha format like start date will be the 1st Jan. I will going to like this way only first, then Jan will be 01 and whatever the year you want to add. It will not will be like 1st January. No, not in this format. In the date format only I will going to add it. So all these format are decided by the data types of fields. Salesforce offers a variety of fields, each designed for specific data types and use cases. Common field types are text is the one, okay, where we will going to store the text value. Then similarly, we have the number field also where we'll store the number field. Then date is there which will going to store the date values. Then we have pick list. What is pick list now? Pick list is the one which will going to contain field will only be one. This is the field one, but it will going to contain number of values 1, 2, 3. And from this any one value as per I need, I have to select. Like there is a field skills. So a person can have multiple skills. We are talking about the languages skills here, and we have more number of language like C is there, C++ is there, Python is there, okay, C sharp is there, and then Apex is there. So these are the different languages. So for this, I will going to create a pick list field so that all these values can be entered in this field, and as per the user's skill, he can select any one or two values from here. Okay, then the relationships fields are there. Relationships fields are the one which will going to decide a relationship between the object. This is the object 1, okay, and this is object 2. I want to relate both these objects. How I can do this? Using the relationships. So here relationships will come. In our Salesforce, relationships are also of multiple type, but their basic use or the main use is only the one to connect the different objects or to relate the records of these different objects. So fields in Salesforce are building blocks for capturing and organizing data within the objects. They allow organization to customize their Salesforce instance to meet a specific business need, ensuring data accuracy, consistency. So data accuracy can only be done if you will going to select the correct data type. That is why data type is focused. You should be sure what kind of data user will going to store here. As per that only you should need to select the data type. If you have selected the data type and you want to enter the text field here, any text value like test you want to enter, that could not be possible. Then you have to change the data type of your field. Okay. So at from the scratch only when you are building the flow, at that time be sure what kind of data user can fill here. Okay. Consistency and accessibility across the platform. So again, let's go to the field now. This is my test object. Here in the second tab, fields and relationship is the button from where we will going to create all the field which this object needs. Okay, so these are the few fields which will be by default created when you will going to create the object. So the first one is created by last modified date owner. Owner is the one who will going to create the record. Okay, who that person value will be stored here in the owner. Then we have test name. This is the name. That auto number and name was there, two option. So at that time we have selected the name, so it has given me the by default value name. Okay, now from here new button, you can create more number of field to this object. So all the data type which we are discussing are here. The first one is auto number. Do you want to create any auto number field here? And what if you select auto number, then let's suppose first record you have inserted or created in your org. This is your first record. At this time, auto number will be saved as 1. Now the next second time when you will going to create the record, automatically it will going to store 2 here because it is the system generated. Okay, Salesforce on its own will check what number of record you are working, and as per the number it will update it with the same number. Like if you are creating the fifth record, it will going to update it with the fifth. Okay, then this is the formula field which we will discuss once we'll go to this formula. So this is also a type of field. Either I want to create a formula, so we'll use this formula fields. Then the relationships. With these two relationships are the main which are available, lookup and the master. Okay, these are used to relate it with the other objects. Then we have the checkbox. So relationships, these two are the main, and external lookup are rarely used when we are working with the external objects. Okay, so for now just take a look to the data types. So next is the checkbox is the data type which will be a true or false. Then currency is there, date time, email, geolocation, number, percentage, phone, pick list and the multi-pick list. What is the difference between pick list and multi-pick list? So pick list means it has number of values but user can select one value at a time. But in the pick list, this pick list field will going to have values, but user can select more than one value also at a time. Like suppose if you only create a field with the pick list name, with the pick list data type, then user can only select any one of the skill from there. But it can be possible user has more than one skills. It has a knowledge of C++ also and C also. So at that time, what you will going to do? You will going to create a multi-pick list. Whatever the skills he owns, the more number of values he can select. Now he can select C++ also and C also, Python also, C sharp also and Apex also. All the values also he can select. So this is the main difference between pick list and the multi-pick list. Then we have text. Here, these three, four types of text are available. So the first text is the one which will we can enter the combination of any number of letters. And here the size of this text by default will be 25. Up to 25 letters you can enter the value here. Next comes is the text area. Text area will give you more space, that is up to the 255 characters. And here up to 25 characters only can be entered. Now the more next comes is the text area long, which will going to give you a wider range of characters, that is 131072. This number of characters you can enter. Now the next comes is text area rich. Here in these above three you can only enter the characters, but sometime there is a need I want to upload the images also, or some links I want to upload additionally, and I want to add the HTML tags also, many more thing I want to store in my field. So at that time you will going to use this rich text area. It will going to help you to add the text, add images, links up to this much number of characters. So character limit is also there, but additionally with this character limits, you can add the images also to this. Now this is the encrypted one. Okay, whatever the values you will going to store here, like suppose you have entered the test here in this field at the time of storing the value, but when you go to the record page it will going to show you in the encrypted format. Value will not be visible to you, it will be encrypted. Okay, this is the format. It can be anything like hash can be there, but the format will be encrypted whatever you will going to store. Then the time type is also a field. Whenever user want to enter time like this, PM, AM, all these things can be done using this time. Then we have the URL. Whatever you will going to store as a URL, it will be clickable. And by using this clickable URL, you can directly redirect to that particular page. Okay, allow users to enter any valid website address. Okay, it should be valid. You can add dummy URL also, but it will not redirect you to the website because that is a dummy one. But if you add the valid website, it will directly redirect to that particular website. When user clicks on the field, the URL will open in the separate browser window. Okay, so these are the different number of field data types of field. As per our need, we will going to select from here. Okay. So this is the main about objects and fields which comes under the data model, and objects and the fields are the one which will going to help us to store our data, and at the end whatever we are doing in this Salesforce is the data only. Either it is changes, modification, storage, anything, all will be around only the data, that is the records. Okay, and for records the building blocks are objects and the fields. Once these are done, then it comes to relationships, how we will going to relate these different objects to each other.